What's up, Turtle fans? I'm the White Foot Soldier, and today we are going to have a look at the GameStop exclusive 1990 TMNT movie figures by NECA. Now, these should look familiar to you because these were actually released this past summer in 2019 at San Diego Comic-Con as a 4-pack. So the nice thing now, to make it easier for the collector to get, NECA was able to release these individually at GameStop. So if you start off on the left here, we get Shredder, which looks amazing. I can't wait to open him up. We get the two foot soldiers in the middle, and the difference between the foot soldiers are that this one over here has the bladed weapons and this one has the melee weapons. So that is the difference between those two, and of course I needed to have both. On the far right then, of course, we get Splinter, and we get that cool cloth robe and some cool accessories there that we'll talk about once we open him up. So let's have a look at the box art first. Box art's pretty much the same kind of design as the four turtles. So you get the GameStop exclusive logo down in the corner, Nickelodeon on the other side there, and then of course the name of the character. On the side, you just get the character in different poses. So some really cool box art. Turn it back over. Get some other poses there, and just kind of fly through this because we have a lot to talk about. And you can see these are actually different too between the foot soldiers. So the box art is different on there on the sides because of course they have different accessories. Here's Shredder. Really cool pose there. All right, let's open these guys up and check them out. All right, now that we've opened everything up here, let's start on the right with Splinter. We're gonna run down through the accessories, then we'll do the articulation and check out the sculpt and the painting and all that fun stuff. So first of all, Splinter comes with a pair of nunchucks, and now his are wooden. And he comes with a slice of pizza and a TCRI canister. Now, obviously in the movie it was TGRI, so I think there were some copyright things probably is why they did this, to make it like the comic books. And this actually comes off, so one side does come off there. And then moving on over to the melee foot soldier. The reason that these two are different, as I mentioned previously, are because of the accessories. So we got the melee and the bladed. So the melee comes with a pair of nunchucks. Now notice his are different. They have some spikes on them, and it has the metal chain. And then he also comes with a pair of wooden ones. They're kind of like Splinters, only they're black. Tonfa. And a different knot for the headband. Now I'm not sure, it is a little bit different than the one that's on him, but it's not really that different, so I don't know if this is necessarily a huge deal. It's probably maybe NECA saying, hey, the collectors say they lose them, so here, if you lose the first one, if it falls off and you can't find it, or your cat eats it, here's the second one. So he also comes with a bow staff and hand swaps. So his hand swaps, we got a pair of open hands and a pair of hands for the weapons, to hold the weapons, and then the ones that are on him are his clenched fist. So, and these are really cool detailing. You can see the foot, let me bring that up. You can see the foot logo on there, and the spikes. Actually, I just noticed those are kind of different. So the one's darker than the other one. Oh well, that's showing up there, but this one's darker. That one kind of looks almost like it was unpainted, actually, because there's a little bit of gray or silver paint on there. So, all right, moving on over to the bladed foot soldier. Comes with a katana, a pair of sais. These are pretty fragile, so you got to be careful with them. I did for one of the turtles, I snapped one of them by accident when I was getting it out. It broke, but it broke pretty easily. So I'm just going to be very careful with this. So we have an axe here, and of course the headband knot for the back, and then hand swaps again, and these hand swaps open, and a pair for the weapons again. Yeah, see, those ones look like they are both have some silver on them, so I'm thinking that maybe they just forgot to paint the other one. And now moving on to Shredder, we got a spear. And of course, who can forget this classic accessory from the 1990 movie? We have the knife, and we have the sheath for it. So that's really cool. NECA always pays attention to detail in the movies and the cartoons when they release their figures. So that's what makes it so cool. We get some hand swaps as well here. Let me just bring these over. So we get one for the weapons, one open hand for with the gauntlet on it, and then a closed hand gauntlet there, and then just an open hand for the right hand there. So what's cool about this too is I like in the movie where he doesn't have, you know, he has just one on, and when he's handing something that comes back to me there, when he's handing the mask to one of the new foot recruits, you'll notice that he has one, you know, on there and not one on the other one, if I'm recalling correctly. So that's cool. And look at that detail in the hand. I mean, they even went and did some lines on there, like to make it like a real hand. So that's really cool. So, all right, let's check out the articulation, the figures themselves. So again, we'll start with Splinter over here. Now, Splinter was really hard to get standing. The issue with Splinter, and I'm not going to complain very much with these because they are awesome overall. Just looking at that figure, I mean, it looks like that, you know, it just jumped right out of the movie. So awesome looking figure. The cloth robe is great. I love the detailing on it, making it look dirty and ratty, if you will. The hands, look at those hands. I mean, they look like an old rat hand, just like the movie. So that's really cool. The legs, if I move up the legs there, you can see they are articulated up in the knee, and then in the ankle area, you can see it kind of twists around, and then even in the foot. I don't want to bend it too much because you can see it's already peeling off there. But in the foot, it bends up inside of the hip. Let me just lift that up here. You can see the hip. So up inside the hip there, we get some ball joints, I believe, up in there. Are they ball joint? Yeah, I think so. They're just really tight. And then the tail is what's kind of impeding it. So the tail, when it's down, it kind of pushes it forward. And let me just tilt the camera. So when it's down, it kind of impedes it from standing. So Splinter's kind of tough to stand, and then you'll notice, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there's a lot of like little particles coming off of him. So I don't know if that's from the figure or if that's from the cloth. Not real sure, but a lot of little particles from him there. But like I said, overall the sculpt is amazing. That part is a little disappointing. I don't know why he doesn't stand real well, and I tried to move it to see if it like lifts up or anything, and it really doesn't. I don't want to accidentally snap it. But you can see that Splinter actually is kind of made of some rubbery material up in his like backside there, and then the legs are kind of a harder plastic. And then come on up to the head there, we can see an awesome side profile, and his head articulates pretty much the whole way around there. Yeah, let me actually pull that down so we can see better how that works. Now I got him kind of wrapped up. You can see how that's on there, kind of fraying up there. In his wrists, we get some, we get some rotation in the wrist there, some in the elbow, and some in the shoulder. And as I said, these are a little bit tight, of course, because they are brand new. So really awesome looking sculpt. The detailing on him is amazing. Like even the eyes, I mean, he almost looks sad in the eyes. So it's a really awesome detail work by NECA. So let me set him down, and we'll get the foot soldier next. Next up, we have the melee foot soldier. Now the foot soldiers are the same, so I'm not gonna go over the articulation on both of them. And everything is the same overall on the figure, not just the articulation, but the sculpt work and everything. So we get the shoulders. Now, like I said, these are really tight, so I'm not gonna bend them too much, but we get ball joints in the shoulders, ball joints in the hips, in the elbows, in the wrists. Now look at those wrist guards, the detailing on that. That's so awesome. It even wraps around there. So those look really, really good. I think the waist too. Yeah, we get rotation in the waist. We actually get like the elastic band like we got on the bigger version of this guy. Can't really seem to get a hold of it there, but that's an elastic band that moves, and then we get the one that's just sculpted on there and tied. Moving on down to the legs, then we get some rotation in the ankles, in the knees, forward there. It's kind of hard to get that one to bend in the forward there. And as we set up in the hip, moving on up into the head. Look at that head sculpt. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing with like the bug-eyed look there with the cool mask and bandana. We even can kind of see there's like a little bit of like for where his ear's at. You can see right there, a good angle of it. So we get in the head, we get rotation, and then of course the neck goes back and forth. So you can get some really cool looking, like kind of a sideways, creepy looking foot soldier there. And moving them around in the back, you can kind of see it almost has a bluish tint even because they added some cool coloring on there. And just the overall like feel of these guys, it's so amazing. The wraps on the feet, just making sure I didn't miss anything. Just like even the creases and stuff, like the detail that they put into these are unbelievable. And I think, I'm trying to even think what these cost, 25 bucks or something. Like that's a steal because these are so nice. And just everything about them is really, really nice. You get the bandana there with the foot logo on it, kind of the dots on the, even the nose impression where he can breathe by the mouth. Another crease up front. So the sculpting and tooling on these guys is just amazing. And as I said, I'm not going to go over the bladed foot soldiers since we've already talked about the melee one, and they are the same. So let's go ahead and check out Shredder. All right, finally we get to Shredder. Now this guy is saved last for a reason because he was the one that I'm most excited about. I mean, look at that work on there. Look at the sparkly on his outfit, just like in the movie. All of the like the gauntlet and all of the different spikes on him. The robe or the cape. The cape actually even comes off. I put it on because it just looks so cool. The cape, I'll turn that around so you can see. It's almost like that garbage bag looking cape like in the movie. And just even like little details, like look at the metal on there. Like the metal is kind of like it's rusted, like it's brown, almost rusted on there. The articulation the same as the foot soldier. The cool looking foot, I've never actually even looked on the bottom. The cool looking foot shoes, the footwear, just really, really awesome. And then again, like we said, with the one gauntlet on the one hand, and just like, I don't know if these spin around. Yeah, even that, like that's a separate piece around his hand. So that even spins around. The helmet looks incredible. You can see kind of like the vented part for the mouth. Kind of turn them over on the side. You can see like the kind of what I was saying about the other parts where it's almost rusted, like looking there. So that's just really, really neat. And the hard part, now that's kind of harder on the top. Just the back view of them there. Just so nice. And this is kind of rubbery, so it does kind of move around there. So it's kind of cool. And one of the best parts, let me actually show you one thing first before we get to one of the best parts of them. So if you lift them up there, you can see on the shoulders like how neat the shoulder guards are. Again, the rusted look, and these are pretty hard. I mean, they're kind of sharp. So it's high quality stuff here. And almost like a purplish tint on him too, now that I'm seeing that in the light and spinning him around. But now we can take the face mask off. So this is the part I wanted you to see. So this is just awesome, kind of like the bigger version of him, but I love this. So take him off and look at that. That's amazing. Now the eyes are a little bit off there, his left or right, kind of trying to get out of the shadow, but you can see his eyes a little bit crazy looking. But look at that face. I mean, like where Splinter scratched him, like the detail on that face is just awesome. The lips and the sculpting of that is incredible. So very cool. So that, like I said, that just comes right off the vented part. See on the inside what that looks like. And then you can see on the sides here, it actually just connects. There's a side part like where his ear would be. Kind of see it down in there. So that's how that stays in. So you just put it back on and then it kind of snaps back into place. So that is just an amazing figure. I love that. I couldn't wait whenever they released the larger version. I thought, well, if we get a smaller version, that's going to be so awesome, and we did. So unbelievable. Again, turn him over, you can see the elastic part there again, like his around his belt area. And these, I think these are separate pieces too. Yeah, I just noticed that on the bottom. So these are actually separate pieces that can kind of spin around, so that if you're doing some different movements with them, But yeah, so it's going to be awesome whenever I get these guys posed somewhere, because you can do so much with them. I mean, they're highly articulated, they look incredible, and NECA is just absolutely hammering it out of the park. So very, very cool. Okay, this has been a review of the GameStop exclusive TMNT 1990 movie figures by NECA. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe for more TMNT news and reviews.